Man, why y'all waste my time with this, man? Oh, man, my phone was ringing. Y'all was telling me in the chat. I got DMs on the Patreon, the community chats on Facebook. People was like, yo, this dude's dissing Nas, Young Noble from the Outlawz. I'm like, what? Dissing Nas? Oh, man. I just threw my head back. I didn't even listen to the song. And it was like, what you think, man? You gonna do it? You gotta break the silence. You gotta talk about what's going on. I said, well, let me listen to what dude's talking. For 7 minutes. I'm like, oh, he got a lot to say. Played the song. He said everything he had to say in 2 minutes. What was the other five for? And then it just sounded like you bitter. And it's like, dog, this is like 30 years ago. And that's why I'm like, damn, dog, we talking about 96. So we talking about 96. You've been around since then. All these years. And now you mad talking about you lying on my homie, man, in interviews. You lying, man. He ain't copy your chain or whatever. I'm like, dog, you don't know why Pac did stuff, man. There's people that have been around Pac don't know why he do the things he do. So for you to just say that, yeah, yes, you was around Pac. Yes, you was an outlaw. But you didn't know why. You had no control over what Pac did and what Pac chose to do. None. Now, if you felt different, then you tell it in your interview. You do your interview and say, this is how it really went. We had 40 dudes with us. Yes, you got 40 dudes with you. They had security and they went and got in contact with Fatal. Fatal came with all them dudes from Jersey. They came down from Jersey. Do you know how many people Nas had? Nas, you act like Nas had 5 people there. Dog, do you know how many people was at the after party? Pac had his chain, Nas had his QB chain. So Nas had his QB chain on. Pac had on that white t-shirt with that euthanasia, whatever chain on. Both of them had their chains on. So who had it first? Nas, I believe, had his before Pac had his. I don't remember who had it first, but they both had it on when they met, when they was talking to each other. They both had their chains on. And he had the big medallion piece, and Pac had his chain just like Nas. And I had never seen Pac wear any big medallions on his chest like that. Because before it was just the thin chain with the death row around his neck. Then there was no more death row. It was this euthanasia chain that looked like it looked similar but better than the Nas chain. And he was really rocking that recently. But yes, it does look like Nas's QB chain. It's just a medallion. That's it. Well, that's the thing about the East Coast. The East Coast, they normally rock the big medallions and they have gigantic herringbones. rock medallions. West Coast dudes, they normally wrote, they weren't that flashy. If they was, they had a small medallion or something, a little small herringbone, some thin gold around the neck. They didn't wear a lot of big, heavy chains and stuff around. That was more New York, the Mecca, the stinks and all that, the gold. That was they symbolizing back in the days. But I just don't really think the reach was all that. I mean, if you go back and you watch the 90s, the MTV Awards when Nas performed, he's wearing the goddamn chains. I was like, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about, man. This dude he ranting about something else and then it's corny, dog. The rhyme is like you rhyming Tupac, you saying stuff, then you rhyming like Pac, you rhyming like Jay-Z. It's like you riding everybody else's tip and riding a wave and basically saying they lines in the rhyme. It's like, dog, come on, man. If you're gonna come for somebody like Nas, at least make it something he could respond to. It's like, why would he need to respond to that? Well, the thing is, nobody forgot that in New York. That whole scene didn't go well. Well, the Outlaws are still they eating off Tupac name. You know what I'm saying? They was riding with Pac and they was young kids, and now this is what he want to do to ride this wave. It's cool. I mean, shoot, I feel bad for him. Noble was never somebody to me that was the rapper. Like I don't remember a verse from him that stood out. That's at all. And that's the truth. The only persons that I remember rapping, Gaddafi was the illest to me. Then Fatal. And they were the most lethal ones out of the group. Motown had some good ones. And EDIB. Besides that, that's about it, man. I mean, really, I don't even know why Nas would even think about responding to it. Like, there's nothing to respond to. It's just foolery at this point. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even talk about Pac no more because it just don't even make sense. Somebody gonna say something stupid to try to get something going. It's like, dog, that stuff is over, man. It's been over. Them two squash their thing or whatever, and it's done with and all that. This man has not disrespected Tupac at all. He's done things to honor Tupac, made sure the Tupac estate got a chance to eat the whole nine. And y'all just been out here spiraling ever since. Cause I felt bad for y'all career because I said, man, Pac died. They not death row. You know what I'm saying? The Outlawz ain't really death row. Like Suge didn't want them niggas. That's the truth. He ain't really want them at all. They wasn't part of the row. Pac kept them separated really from death row. Even though they was cool with some people, Pac kept them mostly in his crew. Like, these my guys. These my little soldiers. These my little dudes who gonna ride with me no matter what. No, there'll never be a time where I put one above the other. I listen to Pac, I listen to Nas, I listen to Big, I listen to hip hop, dog. To say Tupac can't rap or y'all take stuff way to a whole nother level. It don't even need to be like that because they all made great music. But people who are in the streets, they move different. You know what I'm saying? Noble was the sin. Like, look, Young Noble was he was the guy to go get the bag, go get the car, go wash the car. Why don't you go pick up the weed? Why don't you go clean the house? You wasn't a rapper, dog. That's all I'm like, dude. What is you talking about? You part of the crew because you down, but you ain't the MC like that. I mean, I don't know. I felt bad for him because that New York thing when they came back and Pac did to hit him up and just having all them dudes for Jersey ride for them. When they went back home that week, Pac died a week later. So when they brought back Thug Life and they was finna bring that back out, Pac didn't want that. That's something they wanted to do. So they wanted to bring out, they rode everything off of Pac instead of saying, okay, we got to grow up and make something on our own, on ourselves. Nope, they rode the Pac gravy train. And by doing that, that was going to hurt their careers musically. You know, I look at the situation as in real time. You know, and nobody's gonna take Noble seriously. I mean, come on, stop. Not for no rap tip, dog. And for you to be that extra, you really on some clout chase right now. That's really all it was clout chase. You know, rest in peace to Fatal. You know, rest in peace to a lot of those dudes, man. That was in that clique. It just goes to show you, man. Time move on. Guys gonna be lost, and it's a lot of soldiers going behind that stuff, man. Going behind two guys. You know what I'm saying? Not really seeing eye to eye. People going like behind that. People going to jail behind that. People in the streets have problems because they was aligned with Pop. Jersey dudes caught a lot of slack over that. Because one part of Jersey, they was riding with Puff and Big and all them. And here y'all go was riding with Pac, and now y'all back home in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of heat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was coming at the Big and riding with the West Coast and acting like y'all was West Coast and y'all on the East, just an East Coast artist. And y'all with an artist that's saying anybody from New York can get it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in New York don't like it, F you and your MFMO. As you can see, it's been 30 years later and still some New York dudes, man, don't F with that cat. You know, I'm saying you talking about your baby won't grow and all that. Talking about killing New York babies. It's like we seen that on Mav Hoffa. Dude was taking he talk the guys around me. That's how they took it. It was guys like that in Chicago that was mad at Tupac. Like, man, I don't listen to Tupac. I was like, oh, all right, dog. Like, they was really offended. Like, you don't know how many people in Chicago at that time was so plugged into New York. And they love the party, you know, the Diddy, the party like music. These were the wavy R&B type dudes. You know, they at the club, they want to dance with the girls. They ain't into all this thug and shooting up and we gangster. They ain't like that at all, especially Diggy, Diss and Biggie. They was like, oh man, you a hater. You just hating on Biggie now. Man, I don't like Tupac. So they just was mad at him. And I was like, I ain't thought I would ever meet a person that didn't like Tupac. So yeah, it was weird. I wasn't even prepared to hear anything like that. But when that happened for the Outlawz, their lives changed. Because in the music business, they were going to be basically strangled out. They had the album they did with Pac. After that, it was like, okay, now we on our own. Except for they ain't got nobody that's really backing them. Nobody supporting them. Nobody saying, hey, you know, we need y'all support. We need the crew. We need the peoples. We need everybody around. We need all these people to come together. Nobody was really championing them. And because they weren't championing them, you know, was no need to proceed to move further with anything. And I knew it once they started coming out with just more Tupac attachment, you know, Pac this, Pac that, Pac this. Once they kept doing that and riding the wave, you got to create your own identity in this game. You feel me? Like, they didn't put out no music. Really, that was, you know, they whole thing was they was engulfed in the war. They was following Pac's leadership. Pac was just on the war tip. And so they was on the war tip with Pac. So when Pac died, that was the general. Now they out here like blind soldiers. And they got to go back to the trenches and deal with all these other people that want to deal with them on the street level because of who they was aligned with, and was like, oh, you was talking all that West Coast crap. Roll over homeboy. So they had to atone for all that. They had a hard road. And then when people say, hey man, we got to try to bridge this, come together, they was still hanging on with that Pac. No, we got to keep that Pac energy. Pac didn't like them. He ain't like them. We can't be cool with them. And that really hurt them. That basically shut the door on them ever having a career, period, or people like trusting them. That cost them big time. Because guys was trying to bridge the gap. Guys was trying to say, hey man, we got to get this thing fixed. We got to try to bring this peace. And having the moms out there, you know, Biggie mom and Pac mom out there, you know, that was a moment for hip hop. And the moment to try to end this nonsense. Because all these people don't realize that those brothers died for nothing. Pac died for nothing. Big died for nothing. So make it stand for something. Wake up. Instead of going down this damn cycle of hate. I'm tired of you lying on my guy's name. Dog, you got, how you gonna come at Nas for lying on Pac's name, but you ain't mentioned nothing about Whack 100. You don't mention nothing about none of these other dudes that's way abrasive, talking about and reckless, talking about Pac. But nah, this is a money grab. Like, because who is Whack 100 really? So no, it's a money grab. We get it. This is what you own. So Yeah, I understand that. I understand what the agenda is, what the ticket is. See, if you understand the ticket and the agenda, then you control the ideals of the general public. Now, Pac blowing up on record kind of felt everybody was against him. Once again, was picking fights. It is what it is. It was real. He know Big ain't had nothing to do with him getting popped and robbed in New York. He knew. He was mad at Big because Big chose to still be cool with them same people, Live Squad and all them. And that's why he was like, Big cool, rolling around with my homeboy who was with me. He wanted Big to step away from him too. See, that was the gimmick. I mean, well, that wasn't the gimmick. That was the thing. It's like, dude, homeboy betrayed me. And, when I got shot, what I'm saying? He knew what was up. He was in on it. So that's how he thought. And then was like, oh, okay, Big, you my homeboy. You came to visit me at the hospital and all that. But then you still rolling with dude, you know? And he's Pac in jail watching Live Squad roll around with Biggie like they used to follow Thug Life around. Now they rolling with him because you didn't want them around no more. So it was crazy, dog. Nobody know if it was a setup or not. Pac believe it was. Meaning like everybody was in on it. I mean, Pac said so many people was in on it that didn't have nothing to do with it at all. It didn't even make sense. But when you somebody who just been shot, you don't know who to believe, what's going on. Man, none of these people don't tell you what's what. That's like me sitting here right now wasting 25 minutes talking about Young Noble. What notable song you got out, Young Noble? What is a Young Noble? What is your six song? I mean, what's your two-hit single, dog? What is your two-hit single? Man, it's like get your money, man, but you gonna have to make your money being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be a rapper and do it, make the music contingent on what's out here now. Stand on your craft, or you just you know gonna be in the same whatever forever. Because you got to keep attaching yourself to Pac, who been dead for almost 30 years, and you haven't grown. Hey man, if he's having success, success is cool. But what I'm saying is this: nonsense is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think it's warranted. You know what I'm saying? What do you want? A battle with Nas? Come on, man. Be serious. I mean, Nas really do this. What you trying to do? This hip hop thing, bro? Come on now. You know what Nas would do to you. But you don't even care if it's done to you. You praying and hoping this dude do something to you. All right, I'm over here trying to take a nap. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to answer this because everybody keep asking about it. Uh no, man. Jay-Z wasn't, he ain't want no parts of that. He wasn't no big Tupac fan at all, man. Are you kidding? Jay-Z was not a Tupac fan at all. He's gonna say he is now because it's corporate, but Jay-Z was never a Tupac fan. You can't be a fan of somebody that's dissing you and making fun of you. He ain't like that at all. But see, he never got a chance to really get off on it because Pac was dead. You know, by the time he found out all this, like he was on the album like he was, and he coming after him. You know, he died, so he couldn't really get his off because it's like, look, you don't want to upset the people that just lost somebody. Mm. So yeah. Well, when people start criticizing them and doing all these things on media outlets and yeah, all the young people watching, that's why this is what gets me. The young generation is watching. So when the young generation is watching, this is what they're influenced by. We grew up, we was influenced by everything. We had old Marvin Gaye tracks, we had good R&B, you know, we had everything. Real hip hop music. We didn't have this watered down, whatever you want to call this. We had real MCs. Back then, rappers used to tell a story about what was going on in the hoods. Now, oh, you got to catch a body. You ain't caught a body, you can't rap. Who made that rule? So you got to go out, do a crime, then tell on yourself. And then all the money you make don't go to your family while you in jail and the record label. That's what we do now. We get real stupid and then do something that just really don't make no sense. Because I'm still stuck like, damn, this is where everybody mind cells is at and bringing it back. How is anybody supposed to get shit done or get better and move forward This ain't doing nothing for the culture, Young Noble. So let me guess, you've been trying to make it off your own pen, get some attention towards your music, and this was your play. Congratulations, you have made it. You got me to talk about you. Congratulations. So now, me and my ashy legs is gonna go here and listen to some real hip hop, and I'm out. Love, peace, and hair grease. Don't you forget to go to the Patreon so we can talk more freely about this. Want to say shouts out to everybody out there who love the page. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. The Cash App is Karceno if you want to donate. Thank you, Byron. I did get your message. I don't know why you love them Haddads so much, but it is what it is. And the intro will be the outro for sure. Hi, I'm Karceno. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No one knows Karceno and none of these. There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them.